Bonjour tout le monde, j'espère que vous allez bien et que vous êtes confortablement installés. On se retrouve pour la suite de Qu'Avowed. Je suis impatiente de savoir ce qu'il va se passer ensuite. N'hésitez pas à aller vous chercher quelque chose à boire, quelque chose à manger, votre couverture préférée pour vous emmitoufler. Regardez, j'ai encore sorti le déguisement pour essayer de me colorer pour le jeu. Sans plus tarder, on y va. On va découvrir la suite. Bon, on va aller voir sa padale. Les gars. Câlin de groupe, câlin groupé avant qu'on y aille. Mais Marius, tu veux nous parler, mais on vient de partir du camp. Mais c'est une blague, Marius.
Listen, I don't know this place. You're pretty much on your own.
Okay?
Wish Tama could have seen this.
Bon, allez, on y va.
Not
C'est
going
beau.
this way. Or maybe we are.
Oh, c'est dangereux. Oui. Waouh, regardez-moi ces couleurs. C'est magnifique, hein. Qu'en pensez-vous? Oh.
Take him down. This one's mine. On for it. Right. How did I know I'd be jumping into a giant pool of water today?
Et Marius veut nous parler. Alors Marius, qu'est-ce qu'il y a?
Envoy,
Oui.
what do you need? Let's make sure they're not listening.
Ah.
The only one we haven't talked about is Yatsley.
Bah, si on a parlé
I don't
d'elle.
know. Things have changed a bit, I guess.
Hein?
She's not so bad. I mean, she's loud and impulsive and always trying to get herself killed, and she keeps saying things to get a rise out of me, Envoy. But, joke's on her. No one's gotten a rise out of me in years. But other than that, we can get along. She can be sweet, too. When she's not introducing me to a new word for my oak and acorns.
Repose-toi bien, Marius.
Thanks for talking.
You were with the envoy when
Oh.
they died. Did you notice anything strange?
Strange how? Besides the part where she came back, I mean.
Disembodied voices, otherworldly visions, anything like that.
Nope. Just lots of blood and lots of shouting.
I'm trying to research near-death experiences. And as usual, I have to do everything myself.
I'm sorry, what madness are we planning now?
Don't worry. Hypothetically, anything I do will be in a lab environment with plenty of supervision.
If you need subjects, I'm always willing to offer someone else's help, sweetie.
Just remember to make good with your gods before you do.
Good thinking. I wouldn't want to meet the gods unprepared.
Bon, on va y aller. Oh non.
A breath held. Trepidation. You are close, yet distant still.
Je suis assez proche pour vous rencontrer. Pourquoi n'attendez-vous pas mon réveil?
The moon has many faces. Different songs for different days. We know your light. We seek what swims inside you as you wane. We wonder.
Savez-vous à quoi moi j'ai réfléchi?
Deer leaps at its reflection in the lake.
Ça vous surprend?
You have defied our expectations at every turn. Perhaps we should not have been.
Que feriez-vous si vous n'étiez pas emprisonné?
The sky is green. The fish breathes air. We can no longer imagine.
Prenez votre temps.
We would run, roll with the tide, sink our fingers into new earth. Whisper in the fields, lift the hills gently in our hands.
Qu'en est-il des personnes qui vivent sur ces collines?
Disturb the dirt, but spare the blooms. Shake the roots slowly. Vengeance denied, squandered. This cannot be.
Qu'avez-vous dit?
We spoke of flowers.
Non, vous venez de dire quelque chose.
We speak of freedom when the hand still clasps around our throat. Wake now. Find us.
Coucou Marius. Allons-y. Coucou Kai. Oh. Oh.
I see the disciple has found her way into the cell.
Toi, tais-toi.
No. Clarion Steel. We know this voice. Why is she here?
Bon, que voulez-vous?
I was unclear last time. I will not repeat my mistake.
Ok.
Out. Out. Her voice pierces our skin.
Look at this place. A quagmire of your parasite's worst instincts. Can you even begin to grasp the forces that you tamper with?
Oh. Alors expliquez-moi au lieu de m'insulter.
Apparently, I must. The situation is worse than I perceived. Do you think you're special, with your god's thorn in your side? Do you believe you can hold dominion over chaos itself? When even the collective fury of the real gods could only confine the sniveling creature to this wasteland.
Alors, rien que la façon dont elle parle et les mots qu'elle choisit, ça me donne envie de ne même plus lui parler et de plus l'écouter. C'est dommage qu'il n'y ait pas la solution de partir. Je ne peux pas y croire. C'était vous?
Who else would have the strength?
It is true. She twists the knife. The seas run red with memory.
Calme-toi, Sapadal.
In time, the gods felt the wretched powers seeping through this land. Its madness would consume us all if it was not contained.
Admettez-le. Vous vous sentiez menacé par un dieu que vous ne pouviez pas contrôler.
Chaos threatens us all. We will ensure order prevails. A pity that its followers could not be reasoned with.
Puis les impies.
The poor godless, worshipping the very thing that subsumed them. We could not excise the rot and spare the roots that nourished it.
Vous les avez massacrés.
A regrettable consequence of a necessary war.
Laissez tomber, je n'arriverai pas à vous convaincre.
Why does our prison not protect us? Help us! Silence her!
Listen to its tantrum. It knows neither order nor sense. Adir is the only thing holding back the tide of entropy.
Quelle que soit la réponse, les terres vivantes ne peuvent pas continuer comme ça.
The answer is obvious to those with the courage to accept it. You are here now. There's still time to succeed where Ludwig failed. Face your false god and end its reign of terror. Permanently.
Sortez du jardin, immédiatement. Je ne travaillerai jamais avec vous.
Very well. I cannot force a child to bend to my will. But I will not stand by and watch you undo my work. You should have thought more carefully before you broke your oath to the Empire. Let this be a lesson to you.
Qu'est-ce qu'elle veut faire?
Never understood Wodika's appeal. Still don't.
I have nothing to say. That was insane.
Allez, on y va. Ouh. Oraison des Make Folk 3. Je vous laisse mettre pause si vous voulez lire. Je descends. Et je vous laisse mettre pause si vous voulez lire. Et je ferme.
What is that? I know that place, right?
Et attends. Et pour faire quoi? Attends, il y a plein de morts. Oh, pourquoi il y a plein de morts? Bon, on va continuer les gars.
Well, that was...
Tu disais?
Let's go!
Ok, donc il y en a un là. Ok, et l'autre devrait être de l'autre côté, j'imagine. Ah ouais, il est là. Je suis pas assez près. Attends, est-ce qu'il faut que j'aille là?
Thomas Cairn. What's that doing here?
C'est ce que j'allais dire, je vais dire c'est comme ça.
No. This can't be.
Huh. I
Carré?
can see the keep from here.
Hein? C'est des hallucinations les gars, faut pas hein.
This room. It looks just like Thomas.
Non! Est-ce que Tama est là? Oh! Oh non. Oh non, y'a Tama?
Tama. No. I dealt with this. We stood at his memorial together. What is this, Envoy? This is your God's prison, not mine.
Wedika a créé cet endroit pour piéger l'âme d'un dieu. Peut-être que votre âme répond à ce piège.
Before we visited his memorial, yes. But I thought I'd broken free. I can't focus on his face. His features keep blurring, changing.
Que voulez-vous dire?
I'm not sure. I know it's him, but I don't recognize him as the Tama I knew. It's like he keeps changing in front of me. Does that make sense?
Détournez le regard, c'est peut-être un piège.
No. I've spent too long looking away. I used to remember his face so clearly from that night. His rigid jaw, the way his eyes crinkled at the corners. He was in pain, but trying to hide it.
Alors, que voyez-vous quand vous regardez ce Tama?
I see everything. All his moments at once. Joy, sadness, anger, or heartbreak, stomachache. Everything from the handful of years that I knew him and the decades before we'd met. He's almost a stranger.
Je suis désolée.
I'm not. All this time I kept him frozen in his worst moment. When he was suffering and when I failed him. But now that I see him as more, it's like he's free of that.
Il est plus que ce que votre mémoire ne lui permettait.
Yeah. I never realized what an injustice I was doing to us both. You're right. I am. It's like you said. His memory is no longer a burden. For the longest, I was afraid to let go of this moment, like I'd be letting him go if I did. Now I see I was just holding on to something that was weighing us both down.
Et maintenant?
We've spent long enough with my past. I never thought I'd meet someone I respect the way I respected Tama. But you've made some tough calls, and you've kept your head and your heart in the right place. So whatever comes next, I'm with you until the end. Now let's go find this god of yours and end the dream scourge. When we reach them, what do you think we'll find? A victim? A villain?
Il n'y a qu'une seule façon de le savoir.
True enough. Let's end this. I'll follow your lead, as always.
Merci Kai. Oh, c'est trop mignon, regardez. Allez, on y va, on continue. Donc, ah. Oups. Oraison des Mike Folk 7. Je vous laisse mettre pause si vous voulez lire. Je descends. Je vous laisse mettre pause si vous voulez lire. Je ferme. Alors attendez, Giada. Oh non.
Are you seeing what I'm seeing? Or am I going mad?
Giada.
What is the meaning of this? It can't be real. This is an illusion. A joke. Tell me we're both seeing the same thing.
Mais attendez, parce que si c'est vraiment Sapadal qui fait ça, c'est méchant. Hein. C'est l'histoire du laboratoire de votre famille qui se répète.
But worse. So much worse. Why am I cursed to see this again? Why does the memory follow me wherever I go?
Sapadal voulait que nous trouvions cela. La seule question est de savoir pourquoi.
They have a sick sense of humor. Whoever is responsible, I'm tired of the bullshit. Step forward and answer for yourself, coward!
Godlike of Sapadal, long have we awaited you.
Finally, you've come home.
This is almost as bad as Ringram's creepy sculptures.
Oh my gods. They're alive?
Non, c'est impossible.
Who knows what is or isn't possible anymore?
Giada Castel,
Oh non.
welcome.
Wait, you know me? How do you know me?
For centuries, our whispers filled the silence. Then we heard your mother's call.
My mother? You heard her?
She reached out to us, using the tool you now carry.
But that would have been years ago. The first time she used the phantasmal focus. The only time she used it.
We heard, and Sapadal answered, saying in a great voice, "We are here. You have found us."
But when Sapadal speaks, the living lands trembles. The voice of a god can be a terrible thing.
Pourquoi nous dites-vous cela?
We feel her pain like initials carved in our bark. She needs answers only we can give.
What exactly happened to my parents? Tell me, please. I need to know.
Sapadal wanted to be heard, and in so doing, twisted your family in body and soul, broke them into a more suitable shape.
Sapadal does not know the limits of their strength. Mistakes were made.
Mistakes were made? Do you have any idea what my life has been since your little mistake?
After the incident, your parents were like us, and we took pity, so we helped them move on, as they wanted.
In the end, they thought only of you, their pride and their love.
That's it. That's really it. The answer I've been searching for all these years. Sapadal destroyed my family.
Vous pensez qu'ils disent la vérité?
I know they are. My mother and father would not have wanted this. A good animancer embraces death. And they were the best.
Que sont ces choses?
We are companions, toys, diversions. Sapadal fashioned us out of dreams and memories.
I can't believe it never occurred to me. They're animats. Ancient vessels held together with duty and loyalty. Their design is unusual, organic, much like the garden itself. Sapadal's work. All this time, your god has been making imaginary friends, drawing pictures on the walls of their cell. It's almost too sad to imagine.
Je suis vraiment désolée, Giada. Je n'en avais aucune idée.
I don't hold you responsible. I don't even know if I hold Sapadal responsible. Your god has the intelligence of a scatterbrained goat. But that isn't their fault. It's simply how they came into being. One final question, spirits. What is this? Why are you trying to ruin my life again? Is this your way of haunting me? What is it you want?
Well, that was 4 questions, but sure.
We want to apologize on Sopadal's behalf, and for the part we played in your sorrow.
They want to apologize. I came to the garden for answers, not to offer forgiveness.
Je vous fais confiance pour prendre cette décision vous-même.
Shit. This is going to hurt. Sopadal has been trapped here for millennia. Alone. Confused. Screaming into the void for anyone who will listen. When they heard the voice of a stranger, they overreacted. How can I hold that against you? Apology accepted.
Thank you, Chiara. And thank you, Godlike, for bringing her all this way.
The time has come for you to find your patron, as you were meant to.
Que va-t-il vous arriver?
Now that you have returned to the garden, Sopadal has everything they need. We will fade, as all things fade.
Je suis désolée.
Don't be. Nurtured or neglected, every garden dies in time. We will return to the soil from which we emerged. In time, you will do the same.
Sopadal a clairement besoin de se soulager d'un poids.
Even a god can learn to regret.
Sopadal wishes to be understood, as all mortals do. Seen, as all mortals are. What you see is the truth, glimpsed through their eyes, and they wish to share it.
Reposez en paix.
Our purpose draws to a close. A long rest is assured. May the living lands receive you with open arms. Farewell.
Goodbye. We need to talk about this, but not here.
This feels like one of those times when getting answers doesn't mean getting closure.
Livre étrange. Ce livre est écrit avec de la sève d'arbre sombre au lieu de l'encre, et chaque trait y a été tracé d'une main lente et méticuleuse, y écrit pardonnez-nous. La plupart des pages contiennent des croquis du jardin, d'animaux inconnus et même de la musique utilisant des notations anciennes. Seule la dernière page contient une écriture lisible. Oh, il fait le cœur avec les bras. Il a changé de position? Mais ils ont tous changé... Ah mais non, attendez. Peut-être pas. Oh, j'avais pas vu qu'il faisait le cœur... Et si à la main... Mais attendez, ils étaient pas comme ça tout à l'heure, si? Faudra que je regarde au montage de la vidéo.
Incredible.
This place would be peaceful if it wasn't so dangerous.
Ouais. Allez, on continue. C'est parti.
Right. You can go first. I'll stay here and watch your back.
I'm starting to think these people killed themselves. Name where?
Seek!
What am I hitting?
Seek!
Where's my mark? Let's take a break before we continue. There's always a weird sort of quiet on the eve of battle. I'm feeling that now. Seems like a good time to gather our thoughts and share a drink before whatever's coming.
Right. This seems like a perfect place to stop and relax.
Though it's hard enough to tell what's real here without a belly full of drink.
Sounds like you're nervous, dearie.
I'm feeling all kinds of ways. Anxious, excited, scared, hungry.
I feel it as well. It is only mortal to feel overwhelmed in the presence of the immortal.
Ça va aller, Kai?
Oh, you don't have to worry about me. Getting to see that vision of Tama did me good. Like, I finally let go of something I'd been holding too long. Now that we're here, I'm eager to see this through. Nothing worse than holding your breath and waiting.
Je me réjouis de voir que vous êtes à mes côtés, Kai.
Same. I'd rather have good company in a prison than paradise alone.
Et vous, Marius?
I had a feeling you might ask me that. I feel like we're almost done with all of this, but we are in the weirdest place in the world, so who knows? I'm completely baffled, but when haven't I been lately? Being afraid doesn't even feel scary anymore.
Vous allez bien, Giatta?
I think so. The garden is so much more than I expected. Full of contradictions. Wild, yet serene. Truthfully, I didn't come all this way searching for my own answers. But I found them. Or perhaps they found me. And now, it's like there's a new path laid out before me. A life after the dream scourge. We're close to something. A threshold between calm and crisis. Conflict and peace. Life and death.
Je me réjouis que vous ayez les mêmes impressions que moi.
So am I. None of us could have gotten this far on our own.
Et vous, Yatsli?
Well, I won't lie to you, Envoy. A lot's happened. But here we are. I just need a moment to take it all in.
Prenez le temps qu'il vous faut.
Thank you, dearie. I'll be ready by the time the fun starts. And I wouldn't worry. Our little group here is perfectly frightening, and I'm sure our enemies would agree. We'll be fine. I can't speak for anyone else, though.
You've listened to all of us. How about you? You've been through a lot since you arrived. You've been shipwrecked and assassinated, harangued by gods, bureaucrats, and a death guard. You've had your soul poked, your loyalties questioned, and your sleep regularly interrupted by a god with no respect for privacy. And yet you've kept yourself and all of us together. How are you really doing?
Étonnamment bien.
You're very resilient. Under different circumstances, I would credit your nature as a godlike. But we all know better. You're strong enough to survive anything. Sappadal picked a good soul when they made you.
Non.
That actually made sense to me. As if I've learned something about souls and whatnot.
I'll take that as a compliment.
How about you, Envoy? What keeps you so stoic in the face of everything?
Clin d'œil. Si je vous le disais, ce ne serait plus un secret?
No, you tease.
When we first met, I didn't think you'd last long. But then I saw how you handled that dream thrall bear. Shook off your own death like a bad cold. And then you confronted your own killer and let him go. It takes a special kind of strength to stay your hand in a moment like that.
I didn't know much about you at that point. You were traveling with Kai and you died, which I thought made a lot of sense.
I remember your calm. How you listened to my shouting match with the governor and actually heard me. You saved my city and gave me a home. A sanctuary where I could be myself. I'll never forget that.
You were my hero right away. You rescued me from those sporlings. You got my priceless face. What more could a girl ask for?
And now look at you. Look at us. How far we've come in a short time.
5 énergumènes qui partent affronter un dieu. Est-ce qu'il pourrait mal tourner?
Quite a lot, as it turns out. But the journey is worth it.
Not to raise the sails before the anchor, but we left trouble in our wake. Fjord, Thirdborn, Solace. If we make it out of here, it won't be to a living lands suddenly at peace.
Just this once, could we forget about the rest of the living lands? Some of us could use a break.
Though that doesn't mean it's Giada's scary story time, does it?
I thought my stories were insightful.
If we can't take a moment to ourselves on a floating island outside reality, then I don't know where we can.
Reposez-vous, nous en avons tous besoin.
Right. We could all use some beauty rest. We'll want to look our best on the battlefield, won't we?
Before we turn in for the night, I'd like a word in private. Nothing serious, just planning out the rest of my life.
Bien sûr, Giatta.
Sleep well. Tomorrow we finish this together.
All this time I thought my parents died in a freak accident. An experiment gone awry. A mistake. And in a way they did. But it wasn't their mistake. It was Sapodal's.
Vous avez été indulgente de lui pardonner.
Generous? Perhaps. Until I knew the whole story, there was never anyone to blame. This whole experience has me considering my family's work in a different light. Look at what my mother accomplished. Armed with her research and her wits, she found a god. When you speak to a god, it's nothing. Barely a reflex. But for the rest of us, it's unimaginable. No animancer can live up to that. Certainly not me. I thought their legacy was a curse, and I could only break it by completing their work. I was wrong.
Maintenant, vous êtes soulagée et libre.
I suppose I have been all this time. I just never realized it. One thing is certain. When it comes to animancy, I need to unlearn some of my old assumptions. I wanted to tame the spirit of the living lands. Now, there's so much about it I don't understand, and it's creepy, but wonderful.
Je me demande si Sapodal serait prêt à vous aider.
They probably won't even notice me, but stranger things have happened. I believe the power flowing out of the garden drove this island mad. That has to end. Through animancy, we could help the living lands recover. It would take a lifetime, maybe more, but that's a small price to pay. Then again, who am I to interfere with an ecosystem that I barely understand? On the other hand, half the fun of animancy is stirring the pot and getting into trouble. I think I know what I want, but there are too many variables to consider. What do you think?
C'est pas moi de te le dire, Giatta. Je vous fais confiance pour faire le bon choix vous-même.
Of course you trust me. I'm brilliant. But we've been together long enough that I value your opinion.
Oh, elle me force, Giatta. Laissez le passé derrière vous. Vous n'avez pas besoin de l'animancie pour trouver un sens à la vie.
You're right. I know you're right. But it's easier said than done. I am the daughter of proud animancers. Who am I to deprive the community of my wisdom and experience?
Vous êtes Giatta Castel, et votre seule responsabilité est envers vous-même.
An Adiran with no sense of civic duty? Now I've seen it all. Without animancy, without my ambition, I don't even know who I am. But maybe that's a good thing. Either way, I can't wait to find out. The Living Lands is nothing if not a place of self-discovery. Hey, you helped me through a very difficult time. I just wanted to say thank you.
Leaving your life behind is terrifying. But if anyone can survive it, it's you.
Hey, Giada. How are you holding up after seeing those, plant people?
Well, I've seen things not intended for mortal eyes, and uncovered the dark truth of my family's downfall. But here I am. And how are you?
Don't worry about me. I just want to know how you're feeling.
I'm complicated. But at least I know what happened to my parents.
Knowing's one thing. Feeling okay about it's another.
Yes, that part could take a while.
As long as it doesn't turn into a ghost story. I'm here if you need to talk.
We're talking right now.
It won't be easy, but you have to let yourself feel it. All of it. Even the parts that hurt like a blessed saltfly bite.
Just be kind to yourself, dearie.
I don't know what to say, except I'm grateful to know each of you.
I've heard of strange colors in the sky and weeks of twilight in the white that wins. Wonder if it's anything like this.
Bonne nuit, Kai. Bon, eh bien, c'est parti.
So those green people in the garden, those weren't your parents?
No. They were Sapadal's dreams given life. Ancient sentinels bound by loyalty.
And they were plants because...
Because that's all Sapadal knew how to make. A smithy smiths. A baker bakes. A gardener gardens.
Right, I understand.
It's all right if you don't.
Good, because I really don't.
Oraison des Folk 4. Oh, je vous laisse mettre pause si vous voulez lire. Je descends. Je vous laisse mettre pause si vous voulez lire. Et je vais fermer. Oh la vache, c'est quoi ce laser là?
Is this where your god friend sleeps? I assume we'll have to break this barrier somehow.
Let's look around. There's got to be a mechanism somewhere around here.
Ouais. Ah, ok. Donc j'ai un bras de Mike Folk qu'on a tué. Et on va s'en servir de levier. C'est parti. Ok.
Wasn't sure what you were gonna use that for. Here's hoping we can avoid that madness down there.
Ah. Zut, ouais, bien sûr. Ouh, coucou. Let's go les gars, on court. Venez, on évite le combat. Oh oh, est-ce qu'on peut éviter le combat? Ah voilà, ok. On en a un autre ici. Hop. Voilà. Et... L'autre est ici. Merci. Oh. Ok. Oh. On va quand même pas sauter. Ah. Tu aurais pu nous attirer d'une autre
You have
manière.
come at last, after so long. You are so small. We questioned if you were real.
C'est pas la taille qui
Then
compte.
steps, a voice. Through armies and corrupted soil, you persevered. Now, you are here.
Oui, pour arrêter le mal rêve. Vite, le temps presse.
The rot. We feel it festering and spreading. What is it but an extension of our pain?
Tu as fait une promesse, s'il te plaît.
Your dream scourge will end when our suffering does. We were innocent once. We woke, and we wanted nothing but connection. But the other gods imprisoned us, left us to suffer alone in this place. But you are here now. You found us, a sprout in the endless winter. There is little time. We would be freed from these bonds. The strangler is close now. We feel her wire against our flesh.
Vous voulez dire Wedika?
She begs for our blood. Her wolves defile the city on the shore.
Attendez, que se passe-t-il à Paradis?
Blood on the tile. The people's cries ring in our ears. She pierces us now. Now we will not brook this. Not again. A spark. Wait. The essence bends here. Time flows into itself. You can reach her. Will the garden to open. It will take you there.
Envoyer mon corps à travers les terres vivantes, même un archimage en serait incapable.
A wellspring of power. We strain, but we could clear the way. We were everything. What have we lost? What multitudes could we contain? We could run, leap in the water, flourish in forgotten
Ok,
hills.
envoie-moi là-bas, Sapadal. Il faut qu'on parle de ce que vous avez fait, Sapadal.
We must. We shall. We have been thinking of this. We mourn our past. We only seek peace now. A chance to regrow.
Le seul moyen dont je dispose pour vous libérer, je dirais la seule condition pour vous libérer, est que vous souhaitiez vraiment changer.
We trust you. You who have been by our side for so long. You met death, and you offered your hand.
Igwulf était un esprit confus. Sa mort n'était pas nécessaire.
And where is your mercy for us? You know we deserve better than this. Give us peace. We want a chance to change. We deserve that opportunity.
Et vous promettez de devenir meilleur.
Do you think we have learned nothing from you?
Si, je pense.
We
Moi, j'ai envie, hein.
deserve more than this prison. Let us have a chance to rest. We want peace.
Oui.
Or do you have no more mercy for us than you did for the bear?
Je n'ai pas le temps pour ça, nous devons mettre un terme au mal rêve. Et je te libère, allez, et on arrête de papoter. Hein?
Yes.
Allez,
We long for this too.
allez, Sapadal, allez.
The time has come for you to act.
Oui, et à toi aussi, hein. Plus de mal rêve, hein.
End our pain and the dream scourge will cease.
Ok.
Give us peace. It is all we have wanted for so long.
Sapadal. Attends, est-ce qu'il y a d'autres voix?
Perhaps there may be another path.
Ok.
What if the bear's spirit came to inhabit another's flesh? Unity, emergence, we
No.
would become one.
Non. Non. Non, 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 pas question.
Think of it.
Non. Non.
You would never be desolate again. You would never wonder about your place in this world.
Non, mais j'ai pas besoin de toi pour avoir une place dans le
You
monde.
would not question if you were loved, and no one would dare question your right to live.
Non.
And we would never be alone. We would be entwined with your heart.
Je préfère vous libérer. Nous méritons tous les deux de notre liberté.
Freedom. We see your focus. We see how your essence bends our cage. Center your thoughts. Reach for us.
Oui.
Clear the fog. Tear down the gates. We were so blind, so lost. We brought such horrors to this place. We feel bright. We had forgotten what it is to live. We will grow, tend, flower. We will always remember this. We will remember you when you are ash.
Merci.
And soil and mulch.
Merci. Pourquoi on est en train de renifler l'herbe? Et nos potes, ils vont encore être en train de nous regarder, tu sais, normal. Elle a la même expression que moi. Faites que le mal rêve s'en aille, faites que le mal rêve s'en aille. Oh, ça veut dire que tout le monde va être soigné. Toutes les personnes qui étaient atteintes vont être soignées. Mais s'il vous plaît. Il faut qu'on sorte pour qu'on aille voir ça. Parce que par contre, Wedica fout la merde. Vite, vite.
Saute dans le trou, vas-y. Vas-y.
Saute, Germaine. Réagis. Allez, plus vite. Allez, il faut stopper Wedica. On la pousse, hein, moi je la pousse, hein, elle réagit pas là, vas-y. Allez. On a Wedica à stopper. Allô?
Andra's depths.
Ah!
Are we
attendez.
back in Dawnshore? Already?
This is Sapadal's doing. I'm certain of it. No power in Aora could transport us so quickly, or so far.
Vous voulez dire que depuis tout ce temps, Sapadal aurait pu ouvrir un portail vers le jardin?
Doubtful. While
Ah.
they were in chains, so too was their power.
Ah. Are you seeing this? I don't think parodies looked like this when we left it.
Looks like the war already started, and the giant roots are winning.
Marius, vines don't usually get that big this quickly, do they?
Based on their growth and size, I'd say we've been gone 2 or 3 weeks.
2 à 3 semaines?
Hey, at least you didn't let 6 years go by.
Ouais, ça-
Who knows if the garden affected time, or merely our perception of time? Assuming there's even a difference.
It's like how a body fights an infection. The fever gives you strange dreams that feel like an eternity.
Look at this place. It feels like we're still in the dream. And not just us. Those are more your people's ships in the harbor, and steel garrote banners past the barricades. That can't be good.
Even Reingrim is here. Perhaps we'll get to see an Archmage in action.
I think I see Elia as well. What a strange reunion this will be.
The Blessed Wardens are here too. That conflict we've been trying so hard to prevent started without us.
L'ambassadeur Hilgard doit pouvoir nous en parler.
If he didn't start this himself.
Bon,
The Steel Garrote have been itching for a fight this whole time. This would have happened with or without us.
Before we go, what happened back there with the Dream Scourge and Sapadal?
j'ai libéré Sapadal de sa prison. Le mal rêve est terminé.
I'm not sure. That's good, right?
Bah oui,
It's a relief that the Dream Scourge won't be a problem.
oui.
I only hope we can say the same about Sapadal. Time will tell, I suppose.
After all this time, they're free. And the living land is free to heal.
We've cured the land and we've even freed a caged god. All in all, rather a successful day.
Peut-être nous aidera-t-il en retour?
Kid and God entwine. The flower shades the soil in which it grows.
We should take a look. See if we can get ahead of whatever storm is brewing down there.
People seem to be gathering west of here. Whatever's happening, let's be a part of it.
Sapadal est toujours là. Eh bien, au moins, Sapadal sera pas tout seul, du coup, s'il nous parle encore. Allez, on y va.
How did you make it out here?
Sansa, qu'est-ce que tu fais
They
là?
marched in with no warning. I couldn't think. I just ran.
Easy. You're here now. Where did they come from?
Envoy!
Eh,
What does the Garrote think they're doing?
bah, Il voulait brûler Fjord. Pourquoi ne pas recommencer ici?
It's an outrage. They've got no respect for the living land's history.
Comment vous êtes-vous échappé?
I took my notes and bolted when they came through Hightown. They didn't think I was worth the trouble.
Right now, that's a good thing.
If you're looking for survivors, a few of us fled to the Balrog.
How many?
I'm not sure. I saw Sapiento. God, I hope they're not trapped in there. I am sorry I can't be more help.
Vous en avez fait assez.
You always were a forgiving friend.
We should move. Let's hope the Garrote hasn't made it to the Balrog yet.
Envoy, wait! Before you go,
Oh?
I may have something for you.
Et quoi?
I took some supplies when I ran. If you think they'll help, they're yours. I'll even give you a discount. You know, for saving the city and everything.
Vas-y. Eh ben on a beaucoup d'argent, hein. On n'arrête pas de vendre des trucs aux marchands.
Snow? Why is there snow here?
That's gotta be Ringgrim's work. I heard she made it snow in Shatterscarp.
Wow. But why snow?
Et pourquoi pas, c'est la question.
A familiar face.
Hein?
We meet again, Envoy. Paradise burns, thanks to Ludwine and the Steel Garrote laying siege to it. But the Dream Scourge is gone.
Que faites-vous ici?
I bear witness. Heroes and villains will arise from this moment in mortal history. I find such occasions irresistible. You mortals know that nothing you do truly matters, and yet you try, over and over again. Still, I do think the world has been irrevocably, if minimally, changed by your actions.
Merci. Le mal rêve a disparu au moins, n'est-ce pas?
It is indeed. I'll admit, I almost miss it. The mystery, the days of research. Now we're back to simple mortal drama.
Une seule goutte de pluie peut provoquer un tsunami, n'est-ce pas?
A tsunami inevitably rejoins the ocean as simple water. The analogy only really works if you're mortal. And I'm not.
Bon, écoute, est-ce que je peux m'en aller, s'il vous plaît? J'ai libéré Sapadal, cela change radicalement le monde.
Perhaps. A new god being set loose on the world is certain to have consequences. Mostly, I'm curious about whether you think you've made the right choice.
La décision que j'ai prise m'a semblé juste sur le moment.
Wise answer, that. I am interested in seeing the outcome of your story, Envoy. With luck, it won't end with you also on fire.
J'espère que nous nous reverrons dans de meilleures circonstances.
Unfortunately, you'll likely be dead the next time I return to the Living Lands. Goodbye, Envoy.
Bon, on se reverra pas.
And Yardsley,
Okay.
I do look forward to when all of this is done. I am eager to work with you.
Oh, yes. We'll, discuss that later.
Hein? Tu n'es plus sûr de vouloir travailler avec elle. Intéressant. Oh, comment elle s'en va en courant?
What happens in Donshore shall ripple across the living land.
Grégor!
Where haven't I been? I journeyed to the heart of the living lands, where time held its breath, and dreams had more substance than reality.
May I see it?
Not if you value your life.
Elia!
Envoy, I knew you'd show up eventually.
How is Emerald Stair? More importantly, how are you?
Thriving on both counts, I'm happy to report. My revenants were just getting comfortable in Thirdborn when the Steel Garrote stepped out of line. When I heard tensions were brewing, I thought to myself, this is a job for the undead. So I gathered the flock.
Comment dire? Bon, écoutez, si c'est ce qu'elle veut faire, bien vu, ça me fait plaisir de vous voir, Elia.
Likewise. I'll keep them on a tight leash, just in case the Steel Garrote breach our defenses. Better to have them and not need them. Oh, and I've been meaning to thank you. Whatever you did in the garden seems to have worked. Emerald Stair is healing, believe it or not. Once this is over, our crops will flourish like never before.
Je suis impatiente de voir ça. Le mal rêve est derrière nous, et tant mieux.
Indeed. the metaphysical currents of the living lands are beginning to settle. Best of luck out there. And don't worry about a thing. My flock will keep us safe and secure.
Thank you, Elia. My compliments to the flock, as always.
I wasn't worried until she said that. Let's get out of here.
Enjoy your creepy corpse friends, or whatever.
Oh, Envoy. How good to see you here as we stand together at the brink of this historic event. I don't know if thank you is precisely what I want to say, but I am grateful to you for bringing Dolna's theft to light. Paradise burns from the torches of the Steel Garrote. The people of the living lands stand ready to defend their home.
Allez-vous consigner les événements d'aujourd'hui pour les archives?
Yes. What happens in Paradise now will decide the fate of the Parkrunen after all.
What's the plan if Paradise falls?
We will find a way to persevere. We Parkrunen have a gift for surviving inhospitable conditions, and always have. Whatever the outcome of the upcoming battle, do not forget us. I fear that more than our deaths. If Edir and the Steel Garrote have their way, they'll strip the history books of any mention of our culture and our ways. Future generations will only ever know us as an appendage of the Empire. I hope it doesn't come to that.
Cela n'arrivera pas, je vous le promets.
I hope so, Envoy. I truly do. That's as much as I'll say. You have a role in deciding what happens next. Do the right thing, Envoy. Let history remember you for the correct reasons.
Ah bah elles sont déjà là les filles. Ok.
Envoy?
Oui.
Is it really you?
Oui.
Mihala told us you went into some place called the Garden to
Oui.
seek a god?
When you didn't return, we took you for dead.
Ah bah sympa.
What did you see there?
Merci.
The god you felt in Nokutadek?
It's too preposterous to believe. How could a plague be ended by speaking with a god?
Everyone, please, please. We could get to the bottom of this if you would only let them speak. It's been weeks, Envoy. What happened?
J'ai rempli mon devoir envers l'empereur. J'ai mis fin au mal rêve.
Finally, a ray of sunlight shines through the storm cloud.
I will not grovel at the envoy's feet for solving a plague I am not convinced was
C'est même
real.
pas ce que j'attends de toi, alors
Consider
calme-toi.
yourself
Oh là là.
blessed to be so ignorant, then. Thirdborn lost more good people than wardens with wits.
You know nothing of me or my people, you fucking pirate!
Warden Commander, look around you. Is this really the time?
We believe the Dream Scourge was a malady of the soul. How did you put an end to it, Envoy?
J'ai rencontré le dieu des terres vivantes et je l'ai libéré.
Sapadal was responsible for the Dream Scourge. Their rage, their confusion, their fear.
So you say. But Shatterscarp is still littered with dream thralls, and Temerty is still pacing her room muttering in the dark.
There won't be any new infections. We've put a stop to that for good. Unfortunately, there's little we can do for those already in the grip of the Dream Scourge. We can give them comfort, nothing more. This will be a process. The Dream Scourge was never going to simply go away overnight.
I suppose it stands to reason. I found that a quick fix is often anything but. What of this god, then? What does it mean that you freed them?
Est-ce que vous pouvez m'expliquer pourquoi Paradis est en feu, s'il vous plaît?
Well, you might not believe me, but I didn't want any of this to happen.
Okay.
It was Ludwine who called for the attack. She and her Steel Garrote laid siege to the city, shortly after you beat her to the garden.
Je me souviens très bien avoir tué Ludwine au sommet du mont Forja.
You did. I kicked her corpse when you weren't looking. Just to be sure.
Well, she's seen better days, but you wouldn't know it judging by how she fights.
Ludwine's run through the militia like a whirlwind.
All right, let's keep the similes to ourselves.
Elle va encore essayer de me tuer, n'est-ce pas? De toute façon, elle tue des gens, là. Faut qu'on l'arrête. Hein.
Regrettably, she's not in the business of making exceptions for people she deems oathbreaker. So long as her passion for Wodica lives, so too will her spirit.
Then we destroy her faith, and the rest of her will follow. I have a theory about this. Let's talk at camp if you want to hear it.
Ooh.
But I think we can kill her.
Oh, good. That will be easy.
It is not, I think, impossible.
Avons-nous des nouvelles de la ville?
We've had no news from inside for several days. From what we can observe, southern Paradis is in pieces, and the remaining militia batters at the gates to no avail.
Is there nothing our people can do?
Given the state of our supply routes after the Dream Scourge, and the Steel Garot's destruction, we expect the people trapped inside will run short of fresh food and clean water in a matter of days.
Quel est le statut de l'opposition?
Thirdborn still suffers from the scourge. Though you may have ended the plague, Envoy, many in Shatterscarp still are not themselves. I could bring no more than a handful when we heard.
Likewise, my wardens are still reeling from effects of the eruption. The keep was saved, but there is much to repair, particularly if we are to endure a siege. Most of my men remain at the keep. I can't risk them against the Steel Garot for the sake of Paradis, not when we are so few.
Quels sont les plans de contre-attaque?
Well, that's been a point of debate. We can't agree on how to stand against the Steel Garot, nor who should lead the effort.
There are too few of us to risk an uncoordinated effort.
So you let the Paradis militia go it alone? Even if our meager forces should make it inside, the siege won't end until Ludwig does. And none of you know how to kill her. Precisely.
Quel est l'objectif de Ludwig?
The lawful settlement of a new Adirian colony, supposedly. Or the establishment of a Wodican state. She could win with a godlike in her ranks. Your presence would serve as a powerful endorsement.
On ne peut pas raisonnablement penser que ces personnes vont se rendre.
I suspect that's rather the point. If they don't believe in the strength of her convictions, she'll show them. Remember, she has an obligation to Wodica, a solemn oath. And neither the Steel Garot nor the queen that was look kindly upon oathbreakers.
Pourquoi Ludwig attaque-t-elle Paradis maintenant?
Because a victory here would discourage resistance elsewhere. The better question is, why didn't you stop her?
Excuse me? She's a 7-foot-tall skeleton powered by her devotion to the goddess of retribution. This isn't my fault.
Sure. Just blame the dead woman. Very mature.
Who else should I blame exactly?
Est-ce qu'il
Our
sait se
envoy,
battre aussi?
perhaps? For not stopping Ludwig in the tusks?
You could start with blaming your own incompetence.
Bon, laissez-le Giata, nous pointerons les responsables du doigt quand la tempête sera passée, surtout qu'on sait même pas s'il sait se battre. Et t'as vu comment elle est forte l'autre là?
Why are you treating him with kid gloves when Paradis cries out for help?
Enough. I've heard your concerns. We cannot change it now.
The Inquisitor was so convinced the Living Lands would unite against Adir that she's nearly made it true. One people, one law, one true God. That's Ludwig's vision for the Living Lands.
Ça va plus loin que ça, n'est-ce pas? Les fondations d'Aedir s'effondrent.
That's what Ludwig thinks. Adir doesn't revere Wodica as fervently as it once did. Worship of Mogrin, Berith, even Aethys has gained a foothold. Many no longer trust that the gods are listening. Some question whether they guide the wheel at all. The Empire lost its foothold in the Eastern Reach. The well-bred avoid child-rearing in pursuit of cosmopolitan pleasures. The Church is weak against them. In a world of soul against soul, Ludwig believes we have lost ours. The Empire must change, or it will die.
L'Empire doit changer, mais pas de cette manière.
I'm afraid you're in the minority there. You and I both know she is not the only one in the Empire who feels this way. Even the Emperor can see, in some sense, that she's right. Why else would we be here?
Le garrot d'acier a-t-il exploré d'autres solutions avant de décider d'attaquer?
What passes between Ludwig and her men, or between Ludwig and the Emperor, for that matter, is not my affair.
But if I had to guess, this was the alternative.
Your empire is doing what it does best. Stamping out dissent until surrender is the only option.
Your republics are hardly any different. Their intentions in the Deadfire were certainly not pure.
As you say, we left the republics for a reason.
C'en est assez. Que se passera-t-il ensuite?
I've answered your questions. Now I would like you, all of you, to answer mine.
Vas-y.
Ludwig has sent a message to the Emperor informing him of her attack. He will send advisors and reinforcements swiftly in response. What will his representatives find when they arrive? A new colony? A budding grave room? Before you face Ludwig, you should know what you're fighting for. All of you must decide, together.
Okay.
But whatever you decide, understand, the days of the frontier are done. Adir will come. Indeed, we are already here.
Je connais mal le principe du Greifram. Comment cela fonctionne-t-il?
The Living Lands would retain its own laws under a grave appointed by the Emperor. The grave would be expected to promote and develop the Living Lands to our mutual benefit. They would divide the island into administrative districts and see them governed by mayors appointed from the local communities. The island would provide tribute in the form of resources and taxes, and in times of war, soldiers. The Empire, I should note, is nearly always at war. In return, the Living Lands would enter Adir's sphere of influence, and should outside nations attempt to invade, we would come to the Grave Room's aid.
Qui serait notre greffe?
Naturally, that would be the Emperor's decision. But I suspect he would choose you.
Ah bon?
Only the strong survive the frontier. I used to believe that was Ludwig. But you were born to rule here. Quite literally.
C'est une grande responsabilité, hein. Cela fait beaucoup à assimiler.
Well, give the matter some thought. You owe that much to yourself, at least.
Je crois que c'est ce qui se rapproche le plus de ce que j'aimerais. Je sais ce que je veux faire.
Well, don't leave me in suspense.
Je pense que nous devrions tenter un Greifram.
A fine compromise.
Okay.
So long as my wardens are left in peace, we will endure a grave room.
Thirdborn will support a grave room, unless the Empire inspires us to change our minds.
A grave room, then, if we must. And, God's willing, Fjord will feed the world.
I do not trust your empire to show restraint in its control of the Living Lands. Gods help us.
We can worry about the future when it comes. This at least gives us the backing to survive and rebuild.
Right. Might as well go ahead and start designing those rebel flags sooner rather than later.
Good. We'll have perhaps a whole week of peace before the yoke starts chafing.
I will do my level best to convince the Emperor to accept a grave room. That leaves the matter of Ludwig and the Steel Garrote. She will never surrender, Envoy. You must kill her, or we will lose Paradis, and eventually the island.
Allons-y.
Whatever happens to the Living Lands, at least I can kill Ludwig. I'll take that over nothing.
She better say her goodbyes while she can.
I'm proud to fight at your side, Envoy. One last time.
Let's get to work then. We've got a walking corpse to bury.
The Paradis militia will be at your back. Give her no quarter. The future waits for you.
Merci à tous pour votre confiance.
Thank you for deserving it. Now, go and teach the Steel Garrote a lesson they will never forget.
Show them that the Living Lands will not be broken across Vodka's knee.
We will send reinforcements to help you reclaim the Eastern Gate. From there, work your way to the main plaza.
Compris.
May all the gods of Eora and the Living Lands protect you.
Let's take back the city. Whatever happens tomorrow, the Steel Garrote can only make it worse.
Time to stop the Steel Garrote. Lead the way, Envoy.
So we're going after the Steel Garrote now, right? Let's do it.
Hello.
Stop right there. Here we go. No.
Attends. Mais c'est toi? D'accord, vous vous souvenez, il avait la rage, tu te bats de notre côté.
This shall be a bloody day.
Oui, bon, d'accord. Allez, on y va.
The eastern gate is ours. I'll stay here. You watch out for Ludwig.
Nice
Oh,
work.
t'es sûr, Giata? Ok, bon bah Giata reste ici. Qu'est-ce que vous faites, madame? Coucou?
Envoy, what are you doing?
Juliana, qu'est-ce que tu fais là?
I thought you left town weeks ago.
Oh, le garrot d'acier est allé trop loin. Je suis là pour l'arrêter.
About time. You're the only one Ludwig will listen to.
Y a-t-il d'autres survivants?
I saw a few on my way here. I imagine they've been waiting for this to happen for a long time. Listen, one of the Garot's units is scouting up ahead, maybe 5 strong. I wouldn't want to fight them if I were you. Take this key. It'll unlock the gate to the canals. You can thank the captain who forgot it.
Juliana, je vous remercie, je ferai attention.
You shouldn't find much opposition down there. I wish someone had stood up to the Steel Garot a long time ago. But, well, you're here now.
Merci.
That's what matters. Good luck.
Merci.
We should go now, while the fighting's died down.
Can you not hear the screaming outside?
Vous êtes là,
She's
vous.
right. We can't go now. Then, Envoy, am I ever glad to see you?
Oui.
What are the Steel Garot thinking? How could this possibly help us?
One for you! Go on, dearie. I can take care of the plaza on my own.
Oh non, Yatsui. Bon bah apparemment maintenant Yatsui veut rester. Donc maintenant c'est Yatsui qu'on laisse ici pour défendre cet endroit. Allez, c'est parti.
Wodaka demands your submission.
Elle est là.
Stand against her and fall.
Get ready. Skeleton lady's up ahead.
I've got your back. Now and after.
This is it, Envoy. The only part that matters.
Vous avez pas intérêt à mourir, hein. Elle a tué tout le monde. Waouh.
There you are.
Ouais.
So, you survived the garden. Did you come all this way just to try your luck again? To kill me more efficiently than last time?
Ouais. Je vous ai déjà tué 2 fois. On dit souvent que la 3e est la bonne.
You'll get your chance.
Then what are you waiting for?
Look around, Envoy. Heelguard should have listened. He tried to bring order through compromise. He failed. Order is meant to be imposed by a stern, guiding hand.
Her order wields sharp steel. She must set down her blade.
Les négociations se sont bien passées. Les terres vivantes deviendront un greffram d'Aedir.
Heelguard is a fool if he thinks half measures will save the island. When this is over, I'll instruct him, personally. As for you, Sapadal's chains are broken, which means your soul is in their grasp. I don't know how deeply you've been compromised, Envoy. And if I don't know, then I cannot suffer you to live.
Comme d'habitude, vous tirez des conclusions hâtives sur ce que vous comprenez à peine.
Do not patronize me. I have every right to put down a threat to the Empire. Steel yourself, Envoy. Make this a fight to remember, even in death.
We would not welcome her death. There is still ample shade for her beneath our tree.
Non mais Sapadal, ok. Si vous attaquez, je n'hésiterai pas à me défendre. Comme ça on fait genre, c'est pas à nous, c'est elle.
There goes the element of surprise.
Bah
All
désolé.
this time, I knew you'd be worthy prey. Don't let me down.
Well, that's the nicest thing she's ever said. Hey, maybe she's friendly after all.
Farewell.
Je suis un lapin, c'est pas de ma faute.
Famous last words.
Let's finish this.
Oui.
Together.
Once I'm done killing you, your god of play.
We are every seed in the soil. We will always grow.
What we prepare.
Whoa! Queen among queens! Send me your aid!
The mighty...
As it wasn't wrong! Go up and...
I got that.
Hold on. Let me catch my breath.
The gang won't help me.
Qu'est-ce que je fais
One last shot.
Tricheuse, tricheuse, tricheuse. D'accord, elle demande de l'aide à sa déesse. Oh, un wedding cast.
Wasn't wrong.
Come and get me!
Grow up and seek. Monica!
Where
are you? No! Don't abandon me now!
She's desperate, envoy. This is it!
Oh, yes, come on.
Now's the time! Give me a second.
Fred.
Too late.
Ah, je veux dire la pauvre, paix à son âme. Voyons.
Wherever Ludwig is now, she must be seething.
Of course, we'd be happy to kill her again, if needed.
She's done for, but we're not. Whatever's next, we'll face it. Together.
Gods, you're all gonna make me sick. But carry on.
Unraveled at last. We no longer feel her wire against our flesh. We are free always. We are free forever.
Silence falls over Paradise, as though the city is holding its breath. Then you hear it, the ringing of a distant bell, the waving of banners, and cheers of victory. After a short and bloody conflict, the dust has finally begun to settle. You feel Sapadal close to your thoughts, stirring with interest. The god of the living lands is observing this moment, unfettered by confusion or fear. For the first time in centuries, they understand. The Paradise militia rallies to you, the outsider who defended them in their hour of need. Whatever happens next, you have won their confidence. You take a moment to reflect on the calm. Not so long ago, you arrived at these shores on a simple errand, which turned out to be anything but simple. The dream scourge is over, and the island has been cleansed of plague. A time of healing and mourning follows. People look to you for answers about the source of the affliction. You tell them the truth, how the plague came from a power beyond mortal understanding, and how it is finally at peace. With your guidance, the Living Lands becomes a vassal of the Adiran Empire. In exchange for their taxes and soldiers, the free settlements are protected from future attacks. The fight for survival is over. You showed the rebels of Paradise mercy, but they can never trust the Empire. Instead, they keep to the wilderness, always 2 steps ahead of Adir, only attacking when provoked. That is as close as they come to peace. The refugees of Emerald Stair resettle in Thirdborn, bringing their skills and research to aid the local community. What starts as an uneasy partnership blossoms into a bond of trust. Through shared adversity, they find common ground. In time, the people of Emerald Stair return to their city of Fior Messiverno. Animancy still has a place in the Living Lands, but the Empire's disapproval gets in the way of progress. Their work is slow, but unstoppable. After so much chaos, the people of Shatterscarp find a moment to breathe. As a gesture of goodwill to its grave room, Adir sends a regiment to purge the remaining dream thralls still haunting the wilderness. But with the sound of Adiran cannons in the air, many Thirdborners wonder what their lives will look like when there is no longer a common enemy. After the Living Lands is declared a vassal of Adir, Solace Keep reluctantly opens the doors of its fortress, though not before numerous missives are sent to Mihala demanding the grave room be honored. Her reluctance costs the dwarves. The Pargrunen are never favored in trade negotiations, and are the last to be supplied by Adiran caravans. But the Wardens have rounder bellies than anyone can remember. For the first time in many years, Kai feels an agreeable restlessness. Not to flee, not to drift, but to venture. He visits the distant shores Tama told him about, and savors the modern marvels, ancient wonders, and breathtaking expanses he beholds. His heart swells, not with grief, but with awe. There is so much to discover, and he will spend his years chasing all of the joy and beauty the world has to offer him. But the most unexpected boon of Kai's adventures is the romance that blossoms with the envoy. He'd thought his chance at love died with Tama. But after the envoy helped him accept that loss, he realized he'd found another chance with someone who saw him, knew him, and loved him as he was. He wouldn't let this one pass him by. With his travels alongside the envoy complete, Marius is left directionless once again. Rather than disappearing into his cups, however, Marius leans on his time among his companions to give him the strength to re-enter society and find comfort in civilization. He establishes a route between Paradise and Thirdborn, guiding travelers between the two in return for money and supplies. And while he has a reputation for being aloof, he joins the campfires from time to time, sharing stories of his time with the envoy that most travelers believe are completely made up. Giada turns away from animancy, charting a new course in life. The old rules don't apply to her. She has no responsibilities other than herself. Writing, music, sailing, sewing, love. She tries everything, masters nothing, and finds the inner peace that eluded her as an animancer. She still carries the phantasmal focus, but it doesn't feel as heavy as before. No longer under the threat of imminent death, Yardsley returns to the Animancers. Reunited with her beloved Quilici, she helps him and the Animancers as they put their lives together after the attack on Fior Messiverno. Eventually, she even has something nice to say to Vidaro. As the days pass in contentment and relative peace, Yardsley is struck by the persistent feeling that something is missing. Though she still devotes herself to her studies of both the arcane and the godless, the restlessness never goes away. Freed from torment for the first time in centuries, Sopadal turns their prodigious curiosity to the people that shaped them. They observe the ways their people live, and they think deeply about what they see. Though they flinch away from moments of violence, and they grieve souls returned to them too soon, the rage that once shook cities to rubble no longer rules them. Instead, they come to you with questions. They want to understand. After a time, they begin tentatively to garden. Where they can, they improve the lives of Kith, and the suffering that troubled them is reduced, if never fully eradicated. Their grief compels them to love, and they love unreservedly, with the power of a god. Sopadal has questions about what happens tomorrow, and the day after. You do your best to keep them calm, until the voice in your head is little more than a polite whisper. After everything you've been through, you don't mind the company. The sounds of celebration pull you out of reverie. Many are waiting to greet you with open arms. You take a moment to catch your breath and savor it, because everything is about to change.
C'est fini abruptement le discours, lol. Et voilà, écoutez, on a fini le jeu. Qu'en avez-vous pensé? Dites-le moi dans les commentaires, je suis impatiente de vous lire, curieuse aussi de voir vos avis. J'ai beaucoup aimé. Déjà, le jeu est magnifique au niveau des couleurs, de l'environnement. Partout où on regarde, c'est super beau. J'avais peur que le désert et tout, ce soit beaucoup moins beau parce qu'il y aurait sûrement eu beaucoup moins de végétation, mais en fait, non, c'est tout aussi beau. Je préfère quand même les environnements, les cartes, là où il y a la végétation, mais chaque endroit du jeu a sa beauté. Et vraiment, le jeu est magnifique, il nous en met plein la vue. Au niveau des couleurs aussi, j'ai trouvé les personnages attachants, j'ai beaucoup aimé l'histoire, elle est super intéressante, les décisions sont super difficiles à prendre, et il y a des fins différentes en fonction de nos choix, en fonction des options que l'on choisit. Vous voyez par exemple, rien que Yatsli, la petite réflexion que je lui ai faite par rapport à Vidaro, et bien rien que ça, à la fin, ça a changé la vision de Yatsli, ou son comportement qu'elle avait avec Vidaro, et elle est plus indulgente avec lui. C'est dingue tous les détails qu'il y a dans le jeu, et toutes les décisions que l'on prend, à quel point ça influence la fin. En tout cas, je pense à ne pas avoir eu une trop mauvaise fin. Je suis contente que Giata, elle soit enfin en paix avec elle-même, qu'elle apprenne à se découvrir, ça fait plaisir à voir. Je suis un petit peu triste pour Yatsli par contre, elle aurait peut-être dû partir avec l'anime ancienne, mais je pense que, en fait, Yatsli, je me trompe peut-être, vous, si jamais vous avez fait en sorte à ce qu'elle ne reste pas avec Kolinchi, mais qu'elle parte avec l'anime ancienne, est-ce qu'elle regrette de ne pas être avec Kolinchi et de ne pas aider son peuple? Je pense que peu importe le choix qu'on fait avec Yatsli, elle a des regrets. Après, je me trompe peut-être, n'hésitez pas à me dire dans les commentaires. Mais ouais, je pense ne pas avoir eu une trop mauvaise fin. Je suis super contente pour notre personnage, l'émissaire Ekai. Vous, si vous avez joué au jeu, n'hésitez pas à me dire quelle fin vous avez eu. Si vous avez eu des différences au niveau de votre fin, ça m'intéresse beaucoup. Et j'ai beaucoup aimé aussi les blagues dans le jeu. Il y a énormément de blagues, beaucoup de sens de l'humour, et on peut passer à côté de beaucoup de blagues si on ne prend pas le temps d'écouter les discussions, même entre les PNJ, entre les différents personnages, que ce soit dans les villes, en marchant, enfin voilà, pas forcément que entre nos compagnons, mais aussi juste les autres personnes dans les villes ou en dehors des villes, peu importe qu'on écoute sur la carte, ou même dans les livres que l'on lit ou les notes, enfin il y a des blagues partout, et j'ai beaucoup aimé leur sens de l'humour. Donc oui, pour moi c'était une bonne expérience, j'espère que pour vous aussi, j'espère que vous avez passé un bon moment avec moi en regardant la vidéo. Je vous remercie d'avoir regardé la vidéo d'ailleurs. N'oubliez pas de mettre un petit pouce bleu à la vidéo et de la partager autour de vous, ça m'aide beaucoup si vous le faites, donc merci infiniment. N'oubliez pas de vous abonner aussi si ce n'est pas déjà fait, mais surtout, prenez soin de vous, c'est le plus important, et je vous dis à bientôt. Bisous bisous.